What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Be sure to like, share the video if you rocking with your boy, man. Today we got a special one for y'all. This highly requested, but I just wanted to give it a minute, man. But I want to send my condolences to the family. But let's get right into it. So today we're gonna talk about Dante Tater Barksdale. Sometimes I wonder, do people understand the message in my videos? Or am I at least touching one brother or sister to turn their life around? It's hard trying to bring light to a world full of darkness. To one Baltimore City man, this was the calling to his life. Dante came up in Baltimore, Maryland, and was the nephew to Nathan Barksdale, whose character was portrayed in the HBO show The Wire. Growing up in Baltimore, Tater went through most things in the city you face. But Lafayette projects always stood out with a lot of money and families whose names held weight in the city. In the earlier part of his life, Tater would fall victim to the streets, getting money, hustling, living up to the family's name, as his uncle Nathan was also a big-time hustler. In and out of jail as a young man seemed to be the story of Tater's life. Crimes or activity is not important in this episode. Let's fast forward. Tater decided while incarcerated he wanted to change his life around. Tired of going to jail, getting robbed by police, and hustling, Dante wanted to help his people and city in a major way. Safe Streets is a public health program to prevent violence and beefs in the streets. The structure of the program is centered around individuals who have been in the streets, state prisons, and names hold weight, in which a person in the streets wouldn't mind listening to. With Tater's street cred, charm, and knowing how to talk to people, this was the perfect opportunity for him to change his life around and help others in the process of the journey. It begun. Tater knew the ins and outs of the street life. He was plugged in with some of his family and friends, being some of the biggest names in the city, who will we discuss in later episodes. In his 30s, when he started helping the community, Tater dedicated the same energy he gave to the streets and helping others. In the interview, he recalled a certain time of night in which people would start plotting, most robberies, hits, and hustling would happen at this time. So this became Tater's work shift. Him and his team would hit the Baltimore streets hard on some of the worst blocks and talk to some of the most dangerous individuals in the city. Ears always to the streets. This helped because if a group of men was ready to go to war, the Safe Street workers would go and see could they stop the situation or at least calm it down. Some feel as though this tactic was more valuable to the community than the police because Tater and others understood the streets and the players in the game. Tater was considered the heart of Safe Streets, with friends and family say he just had that voice in the way with people, with saying sayings like the most gangster thing in the world to do is forgiveness, or explaining to a young man with a blicky, violence is just pain, a crowd for help. Tater did a lot of things. His work in the projects of Baltimore, his love for the Jets was different though. As he recalls in a book he would write called Growing Up Barksdale, in which he touched on his life in growing up in Baltimore or Barksdale. When he found out the Lafayette projects were going to be torn down, people didn't believe it at first, with over 900 families living there. But as Tater would call home from prison, his friends would give him updates, and it was real. He watched in the day room as the Jets fell, which hurt a lot of people in East Baltimore. As Tater spoke on friends he lost and trials and tribulations of street life, everything seemed like a blessing. Tater worked for over a decade with Safe Streets and other organizations, even traveling out of town to help other cities. No one knows exactly how many people he helped, maybe hundreds or even thousands. In any case, this was his calling. As a Muslim, he was serving the Most High and his people. But in an unfortunate situation, after all his years of service and preventing violence, Tater would fall victim to the Baltimore streets himself. In East Baltimore, near Douglas Projects, Tater would pass away after being hit. He was 46 years old. This was a major blow to the city. As a visual near Douglas was held in memory of Tater, he dedicated his life to making the streets safe. He loved his city and the people in it. With a loss like this, it makes me wonder, is it possible to change the narrative? Will we ever wake up? What does taking the lead of the community accomplish? Some people feel like you can't change the city. Maybe so, but at least you could do your part. R.I.P. Big Tater. His legacy lives on. He was the voice of the streets for real, doing things some people wouldn't even try to do. A legend is someone who are a legend whether they are here or not. People will always remember them and talk about them, and their name and legacy will live on. And in Baltimore, there's Tater. Rest in peace, big bro. Man, rest in peace, Tater. You know, a lot of people wanted me to touch this story as soon as it happened, but I wanted to get a family, time to grieve. I definitely want to send my prayers and condolences to the family. I don't want to get too deep into future episodes I got coming up, but a lot of people that I know, that my family know, they was real cool with Tater, you know what I mean? We kind of came from the same environment. Of course, he older than me. I'm 34, he 46. But where I was born at and where my family come from, they knew him. You feel me? My cousins and them, they hung together. My older cousins, you feel me? And which I probably will do an episode on. I'm going to talk to my cousins and stuff like that to make sure everything A1. But yeah, man, he did a lot for the community. That's the main thing, At the end of the day, bro dedicated his life to helping others and helping our community, in which that's what I want to do. That's the point I'm trying to get to, you know what I mean? But when this happened, it kind of had me like, dang, like, it's crazy because you feel like, man, I could go out here, even if I could touch one, you feel me? We got to do better. Something got to shake, something got to happen, man. And that's how he felt. Every time I watched bro on Instagram, every time he talked about the city, his eyes just lit up like he seen hope. He felt like it was a beautiful city, you feel me? He felt like we were just misled and misguided, you know what I mean? And for him to lose his life, I was like, dang, I couldn't even believe it. When people was hitting me up, people was calling me, I was like, that's messed up, man. But at the end of the day, bro legacy gonna live on. One thing about legends, they never leave here, you know what I mean? His spirit's still out there saving them young men. You feel me? It's a young man right now that probably got a blicky in his hand. A voice probably talking to him, you feel me? That's how I feel about that. You know what I mean? His work wasn't done. He's still out here helping, man. So I want to say rest in peace, Big Tater, man. I send my condolences to his family. Y'all be sure to share this video, man. Be sure to like it. Let me know what y'all think. Love y'all, fam. I'm out.